Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the lovely QT. I really appreciate you all coming down, especially in the rainy weather. My name's Kimberly Hall, and I'm the new account manager for Scroll Media Australia. I'm based here in Sydney, so I'm really looking forward to getting to know you all, of course, and help you with any upcoming campaigns. I'll give you a little bit of rundown about Scroll, in case you're not too sure who we are. We're a digital ad network, and we represent over 30 publishers across Australia and New Zealand. We began in 2018 by the wonderful Jane Ormsby. She's got over 20 years experience in the industry, not just here and in New Zealand, but also in the UK. We have some really great speakers as well coming on today. We've got the amazing Jamie Powell, who's the Healthline editor, as well as Penny Scott, who's going to give an amazing overview of a sales perspective, followed by Reuters, who's going to do a great perspective on their company. If you have any questions, just let me know and I can pass it over to you guys. Will probably just be after the first presentation. To kickstart off, we're going to do one with a reel with myself. I'll just put it on. And then I'll hand it over to the girls.
So happy to be able to bring these important conversations to life.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, we're so pleased that you've joined us at Healthline.
Healthline suggests eating which of these foods for healthier skin.
I Googled what causes anger. This is the article I studied because do I have anger issues?
I'm just going to pass it straight over to Jamie Powell.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay, Kimberly?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Awesome. Hi, happy Thursday. The day change is really throwing me off. Thank you so much to Scroll Media for having us. I'm Jamie Powell. I'm the Senior Market Editor for Healthline Media, and I'll be joined by Penny Scott, our Senior Director of Ad Sales, for our Q&A section in a little bit. We're so excited to join you today to talk about Healthline Media's family of brands, how our health and wellness content is reaching the Australian and New Zealand markets, and hint at some health and wellness trends we see on the horizon for 2021 and beyond. To kick it off, though, I can't see you all, so I just want to get a little pulse check. Maybe it's more of a brain teaser than anything, or if I have a rambunctious audience member that wants to yell out. Are any of you familiar with Healthline.com and medical news today?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for the engagement. Appreciate it. That is good to hear and not surprising to me at all. So Healthline.com is the world's #1 digital health information brand as a part of Healthline Media, which is a division of Red Ventures. Our mission is an ambitious one. It is to create a stronger, healthier world. Alongside our sister brands, Medical News Today, Greatest, and Insigts Central, we publish over 1,000 articles and videos every month. You can see some specific stats on this slide here about our unique viewers in Australia and in New Zealand for both Healthline.com and Medical News Today. Those are our two most prominent sites in your neck of the woods. And when we say the world, that includes Australia. According to ComScore, Healthline Media has 7.1 million unique viewers per month in Australia, and those people are spending an average of 3.9 minutes on the page. You can see a little bit of a hint as to some of our headlines there, but we'll dive even deeper into our content shortly. So who are we? At Healthline Media, regardless of what site we're on, these are some common themes you're going to find in our content. We're empathetic. Wherever your health journey may lead, you're not alone. We make that known in our content. I think a really good example is the headline to the left there, when healthy eating isn't healthy, letting go of the perfect diet. We're trustworthy. Our team of 150 editors, over 100 medical reviewers, and a team of 17 dedicated SEO specialists work hard to create content that establishes trust with our readers. Our experts are continually monitoring the health and wellness space, which in combination with our team's wide range of specialization allows us to keep a pulse on the health and wellness space and keep on top of trends. As our medical standards change in the world globally, we get feedback. And when we get feedback from readers, we update the information in our articles to stay current and relevant. We're inclusive. We welcome all voices to the conversation and prioritize conscious language in all of our content. That is a huge initiative that Healthline's been on top of for a while, but stands true even stronger today. And lastly, we are solutions driven. You'll see that 11 herbs and supplements to fight depression. That's an example of what we call market content or decision content. The relationship doesn't stop at the end of the article. We're always seeking ways to help our readers take the next step in their health journey through a transaction, through related reading, or through a service. So, what is the secret sauce to our success? It's search intent. Around 94% of traffic in New Zealand and Australia comes from organic search, and that's true wherever you are. Reader intent is at the heart of every piece of content we produce. On Healthline and Medical News Today, as well as our other sister brands, we prioritize answering our readers' questions, both factually and empathetically, above all else. So you'll notice that readers get the answers they need as soon as they land on the page. The search here was for keto diet. When you stumble onto Healthline as the first answer in the SERP, you're going to get the answer to that question immediately as you enter the article. We don't mess around. So, why is health and wellness content important to the Australian and New Zealand market? To put it totally simply, it's because they're asking the questions. We're seeing over 17 million monthly sessions in Australia, over 2.8 million monthly sessions in New Zealand. And we're primarily seeing these in two key areas. So I wanted to pull these out to take a little bit closer look. These areas are nutrition and women's health. As you can see, we're helping answer questions around supplements, specific diets like keto and paleo. And then in terms of women's health topics, we're looking at more prevention or relief for women's health topics. Again, this content is important because folks have questions and we're helping them find the answers. Can't stress that enough, can I? Again, I don't know if anybody can yell this out, but food for thought. There's some trends in these headlines here. If you would take a little glance at the page, we are very quickly answering readers' questions. So what is nutrition? Why does it matter? Nutrition is the study of nutrients in the food. We're right there. And that's how we engage. So in all of our content, we have several different intent-driven content pillars. Beyond nutrition and women's health, we're covering a lot of ground. Our approach to wellness is a whole human approach, not just stopping at fitness, nutrition, vitamins, supplements, and CBD, but going further into sleep, mindfulness, mental health. Additionally, we know that wellness isn't one size fits all. So especially for those living with chronic conditions, creating condition-specific content is just another way Healthline and Medical News Today go the extra mile to really connect with our readership. So let's talk about some health and wellness trends we're covering this year. For starters, we're exploring the expanding market for telehealth apps and services, as well as mental health apps and services. At-home gym tech is going above and beyond streaming services on your phone. So we're also seeing an influx of new brands that offer machinery with built-in classes They're continually popping up to elevate people's home gym experience beyond what you get just on your phone. Vitamins, minerals, and supplements are increasingly moving off the drugstore shelves and into the mail. So more and more people are turning to subscriptions that involve quizzes to tailor their vitamins to their lifestyles, and then they'll ship right to their door. And then lastly, but certainly not surprisingly, people are trying to get better sleep. Sleep tech, whether it's wearable technology or tech that's built into an element of your bedroom, and natural sleep aids like CBD and melatonin are on the rise. So, does anything stand out to you about these trends? Just going to go ahead and answer that one for you. COVID-19 has had a huge impact on the trends for 2021. A lot of these things were inevitable and going to be coming down the pipeline anyway as we increasingly switch over to digital. But it definitely made a difference that folks were spending a lot more time at home globally. So are these trends going anywhere? In short, nope. And in terms of coronavirus, nobody's quite tackled COVID-19 like Healthline. As soon as the pandemic hit, Healthline shifted to ensure we were a source of clarity for our readers. And for the last year, we've been covering the pandemic with the utmost urgency, accuracy, rigor, and versatility. It is shocking to me that you're all able to have breakfast together this morning, and I'm so beyond jealous. Bravo, Australia, New Zealand. In addition to answering the world's virus questions with our top-ranking content, 120,000 plus people receive daily updates and relevant articles around the development of COVID-19 globally. We've tackled the virus from every angle, from advocating for mental health in a lonely year to sharing specific COVID-19 resources for people living with chronic conditions. So that was a little aside, but to finish this off, I'd really like to do a little deeper dive into some fitness and nutrition trends we'll look forward to in 2021. The first is flexitarian diets. This was a new term to me, so I don't know if you've heard this before, but essentially consumers are becoming less willing to commit to extreme diets from keto to vegan. Instead, we'll see them gravitate towards diets that allow them flexibility, hence the name, and fluidity between their monthly, weekly, and even daily meals. We've seen 156% year-over-year increase in search around flexitarian meal plans. So this is a hot one. Additionally, sustainable eating. 2020 saw a 30% increase in search interest around sustainable eating. Reducing readers' carbon footprint will be top of mind for consumers in the new year, and cutting back on meat consumption while buying from local sources is one way they'll go about it. Stress. Oh, has anyone been stressed this year? Not me, certainly. Stress supplementation will become fully mainstream this year, and more people are turning to common calming ingredients like melatonin and magnesium, or finally dabbling into the CBD craze. We have covered CBD like crazy on healthline.com. Newest on the horizon will be plant-based adaptogens, namely ashwagandha. And 57% worldwide search growth for supplements we've seen 57% worldwide search growth for supplements that reduce cortisol levels. So people are trying to reduce stress. Gummies are taking the place of traditional vitamins. So we are watching these gummies totally eclipse traditional pill formats. We've seen a 57% increase in worldwide search growth year over year for gummy vitamins. You can expect these criteria to shift in terms of how supplement seekers go after their product, and brands are matching that by increasing their product desirability from sleeker, more modern packaging to more flavors and different tastes. Gummy vitamins are becoming the go-to type for all sorts of health goals, being beauty enhancers, energy boosts, and stress relief. Recovery tech will be even more common, from massage guns to CBD bombs, and we'll see that integrated into fitness technology and fitness programming even more. And lastly, we're looking at fitness tech in home gyms. We've seen, not surprising, in the last year, 67% increase in global usage of fitness apps. And in a recent poll by Beachbody, 9 out of 10 physically active Americans said they will continue with at-home workouts even after it's safe to go to a gym. which might have something to do with the investment in technology at home and machinery at home, or the comfort that people find at home. But we'll continue to see the market chase after opportunities in home gym tech. And with that, we will switch into Q&A, unless anyone has any comments on these trends, anything they found surprising, anything they want to delve into more. Happy to discuss. And I also want to bring Penny Scott into the conversation as well. She is our Senior Director of Ad Sales.
Hello.
Hi, Penny.
Hey there.
I will stop sharing, I think. Is that the way we should do that?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful.
I will try and talk. I hope you can both hear me, but
I can.
Great, this is going well. Do you have much of an audience from medical professionals? Looks like a lot of the content is more consumer focused, but yeah, interested in that side as well.
We primarily are focused on consumers, as you say. We suspect we have medical professionals coming to the site, particularly to Medical News Today, but we have no way of identifying them.
Sure, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I actually got a question. How does Healthline Media balance the relationship between editorial and medical integrity?
Sure. We have independent vetting standards for both editorial and medical, and we work very closely together to ensure that we're covering all topics with the utmost accuracy. That makes sense on both ends. Our medical team is very involved in our content, so we have every single piece of content, for the most part, I shouldn't say every piece. Most of our content goes through a medical review process before it's published. Otherwise, it's going through a fact check process. So everything has that extra set of eyes. But in terms of editorial integrity, we take a lot of pride in the creative side of this content, as well as the editorial piece when it comes to working with brands and working with products.
Okay, great. And I just got another one. How does Healthline keep a finger to the pulse of Healthline and wellness trends?
We rely really heavily on SEO. We have a pretty stacked SEO team and a pretty stacked updates team that keep an eye on trends via search. We also have great PR relationships, and a lot of folks really focused on keeping us on top of our conscious language and inclusivity initiatives. There's a lot of extra, I don't want to say like side hustle, but everyone has their hands involved in something else in our team, and that helps us stay holistic in our approach.
Okay, great. Does anyone have it?
Yeah, I've got a question. So what would be the difference between like content marketing and then like your affiliate content on your websites?
Absolutely. Content marketing is identified as sponsored or branded, whereas affiliate or what we refer to as market content is editorially driven. So we have brand partners that we have relationships with that will make their way into that affiliate content. But at the end of the day, when it is editorially driven, our editors have the end say of what ends up on the page.
I guess I've got a two-part question then. So what kind of
Sure.
opportunities do you have coming up, like engagement opportunities with Healthline?
Penny.
Yes. Okay. That's probably more my side of things. So, you know, we talked about the audience that we have and those 7 million visitors, for example, in Australia, that are coming to the site organically, very high intent audience there. So we offer reach and sort of awareness opportunities against those consumers via our contextual placements. That's our content, our first party data. You can sort of place the ads basically in content aligned to the topics you want to engage with. And then the second aspect of this is that we can offer sort of deeper brand engagement through content sponsorship, where we will aggregate high organic search articles for you and give you 100% share of voice on those articles. But we can also then create co-branded or new custom content that's particularly aligned to your topics. So there's really the two ways of working with us. One is through contextual media placements, and the other is through these custom content hubs where we can work more closely with the brand content. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yep. Okay, there's no other questions from our side.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, that was fantastic. Thanks, girls. I'm going to hand it over to Priya and Peter from Reuters, who are going to give a really in-depth.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Can you see me and hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Great to be here. Thanks, everyone. Just want to say thank you first to Jane and the team for inviting Priya, Joseph, and myself. It's really, really good to be here. So my name is Peter Murray, and I'm the Commercial Director for Advertising Sales for Reuters Professional here in APAC. I'm based in Singapore. And I'm joined by Priya Shah, who is our Senior Commercial Director for both EMEA and APAC, as well as Joseph, who is our Programmatic Specialist based out of the East Coast of New York. So again, really good to be here. Great, and with that, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen, so just bear with me, please. So before I continue, can everyone see my screen? I'm sharing that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic, great, great. So thanks. So here we are to give you an introduction to Reuters Professional. And so we've been around for a while. Reuters is actually close to 170 years old. In fact, Reuters will be celebrating its birthday in October this year. And so Reuters by name, as many of you probably do already know, it was a company that was put up and set up and created by Paul Julius Reuter. And he actually started a company with 40 carrier pigeons. So his first focus was actually to deliver stock information between Brussels and Belgium and Aachen in Germany. And so from there, his business did continue to grow, and it really took off, no pun intended. But in that time, over the course of the next 170 years, Reuters has been there first to bring stories to the market, and being first is very important to our organization. Just to give a couple of examples, we were the first to inform Europe of President Lincoln's assassination back in 1865. And we were also the first organization to report of the Titanic sinking in 1912 as well. But outside of those very significant and large stories, we do spend a lot of time and resource reporting on the news on a daily basis. So every year we do report over 2 million stories, over 1.5 million of news alerts, over 800,000 photos and images, hundreds of thousands of video stories, expert views, and over 100 investigative reports. We're also very proud because this is the 4th consecutive year where we've had more than one nomination for a Pulitzer Prize as well. And so I think all of this hard work and dedication that our journalists, our editors, and our writers put into our business really allow us and enable us to stand out as the largest, most trusted independent news provider. So we have 2,500 journalists reporting from 200 locations around the world, providing this business intelligence, again, on a first and only basis on Reuters. Being first, as I said, is really key and important to us to bring that news as quickly as possible to our customers. And I think this does enable us to become an effective communications partner, helping our clients with this platform that we've created to boost their brand visibility as well. And so I think with this trust and all this hard work that's gone into the Reuters brand, it has helped us increase and build our influential professional audience as well. And we can see this across a number of our channels. On a monthly basis, we have over 40 million people using our digital platform, looking at our news information service on Reuters.com. We also have our Reuters events business, which is relatively new. It's about just under 2 years old. And originally, this was actually the FCBI group, which Reuters acquired in late 2019. And so we do a number of different events at Reuters Events across a number of different areas, such as sustainability, energy, finance, and technology. And these events attract over 250,000 professionals every year. We have our social platforms across LinkedIn, Facebook, and so forth. We have over 44 million followers. Our Reuters editorial handle alone has over 23 million followers. And increasingly with video and audio, specifically with voice platforms, we have 7 million listeners there and over 200 million on our video views through Reuters as well as through our social platforms. So again, quite a significant audience. And so if we look a bit deeper specifically into our region, across the key markets that we have here in APAC, of course, starting with Australia, and also the business decision makers that we have. You can see there within Australia itself, we have over 1 million executive management BDMs that we reach in Australia itself. That's actually our third largest in the region. But of course, as you can see there, we over-index when it comes to reaching this very important category of people across all our markets in Asia. And going deeper still, specifically into Australia, if we look at that over 1 million audience in Australia, we can break that down across C-suites, business decision makers, and tech BDMs as well. And once again, looking at averaging that out against the international media average, you can see that we index very strongly against the stable average. And so those in Australia, what have we seen through our audience there? There's a high propensity for people to be working in larger organizations with 1,000 and more employees. They also tend to have a higher household income of over 200,000 Australian dollars. They also tend to work in areas like finance, tech and fintech, and also in energy. And again, looking at the indexing there, we do index over versus the standard IMA average as well. Interestingly enough, these categories like finance, tech and fintech, energy, these categories are also quite important to us from an advertising point of view. These are very significant. And so we do actually have a number of customers in these categories that work with us all around the world. I think it's also important to highlight, who doesn't use our platform versus some of the other international publishers that you may have worked with as well. So as you can see here, there is actually a lot of unduplicated audience in Australia. So for example, looking at the top bar there with CNBC, there's almost 600,000 monthly Reuters Australian consumers that do not use CNBC, for example. And that goes across a number of key significant publishers, ranging from the FT down to the New York Times. So there's a significant audience here which you can tap into, which is very, very valuable for your clients. So touching a bit on Reuters itself, we're going through a number of significant changes. We're going through a revamp of Reuters per se, but not just in the cosmetic sense with regards to how the site looks, but that is also a part of it as well. But you'll start seeing these changes coming up from Q2 onwards, and we're really, really excited about that. First of all, we will be having user registration, which will allow for a more personalized experience and provide rich first-party data. And we will have a follow-a-sun approach with news publishing, really reflecting with up-to-the-minute news throughout the day, beginning with the first region here in APAC. So you can expect to see updates across the world throughout APAC, EMEA, North America, and South America. We will have a much stronger and specific focus on video-rich and mobile-first experiences, and really enabling the platform to be much more deeply visual. So we're we're a company that we're fortunate where we've had a lot of really good work around video and photography. We've won a lot of awards for that. So we definitely want our new platform to showcase that as well. And there'll be several distinctive editorial franchises with different multimedia elements, which for our readers will be very insightful and educational, but also provide excellent advertising opportunities for our clients as well. And for those of you that are interested, below the screen grab example, there is a sign up link there. So if you're interested, please take a look at that and take a look at our new beta version. That would be great. So the benefits for our advertisers, of course, great first-party audience insights. We want to be able to provide targeting in a post-cookie world. We all know that this is changing significantly, especially between 2021 and 2022. Making those enhancements would increase our dwell time and user engagement, providing deeper levels of integration and valuable cross-platform opportunities. So again, apart from just Reuters.com itself, there's other opportunities around our social platforms, our events, and so forth. And so what we do want to provide is an opportunity for our clients to be able to leverage different touch points based on what's most important to them. And so those recommendations can be provided by us, depending on what would work best for your clients. That could be across our digital and programmatic advertising. We can also look at creating custom content that is visual and audio focused, using podcasts, for example. Particularly here in APAC, custom content is very, very popular with many of our clients, building articles, creating hubs for our clients on themes and pillars that are most important to them. We do have the resourcing and capability to produce this content for you. I mentioned our events as well, particularly significant if you have clients that are interested in reaching the US and European markets. From a targeting perspective, aligning contextually, aligning with our audiences to make sure that your clients are properly aligned with the right content on Reuters.com, and also leveraging our social media networks across Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So I mentioned earlier around the key verticals that are important to us. And so I just want to dive a bit deeper into some of those to show you a bit about the audiences around the categories that are important to us, namely finance, energy, technology, and government. So with regards to finance and investment, we do have editorial channels which are very popular with our banking and finance clients, such as Markets and Finance. We also have The Future of Money, which is really about innovation in fintech, what's happening, what's new, what are the new tools that are out there as well. And of course, the ever popular Breaking Views, definitely one of our more popular franchises amongst our investment community. So amongst finance professionals, we do reach a significant number of decision makers, those that are in corporate investment, those that raise capital and invested funds, and those that are in accounting, banking, and financial sectors as well. From a business executive capital expenditure point of view, 33%, and again, over-indexing there as well. And then looking specifically at the Australian audience, there's an active interest in investing, with 96% having some sort of investment. And we've seen that increase by about 25% between 2019 and 2020. With regards to technology, one of our more popular channels on Reuters.com for our tech clients to align themselves in. We'll be also launching a new channel called Disrupted later in the year as well, which will be a multimedia section focused on innovation and the technologies of tomorrow. We also have our significant event Momentum under Reuters Events, which we launched last year, which is basically all about the future of technology and innovation and how we can use technology to make the world a better place. So last year was the inaugural Momentum event, and we'll be having the second one later this year in 2021. So a number of influential audiences on Reuters in the technology space as well, those that are technology decision makers. We reach over 100,000 mobile tech enthusiasts in Australia specifically. We have an audience that works in ICT. And there has been an increase nationally in the Reuters audience who strongly agree that they're always first to try new technologies. So in government, we do a lot in this category as well, especially here in APAC. There's a strong interest in our region from governments to leverage our platform to disseminate their messages both regionally and globally. I think the most significant event that we align ourselves with from a government point of view would be the World Economic Forum. We've been working with WEF for a number of years in Davos. As you all know, there's been a couple of changes with the World Economic Forum in 2021. The most recent being is that the event is taking place in Singapore in August. So we will be a part of that. We are a part of that. We are the only news and media group who is a strategic partner at the World Economic Forum as well. So our relationship with WEF is very, very strong. We also do a number of events under our Reuters events umbrella as well. Conversations around FDI and building for the future. We also do those that spill into energy, automobility, CSR, and other categories as well. So audience sentiments around our foreign direct investment content. 74% see our information as a rich source of information for FDI, with over 60% providing information that helps them make decisions around foreign direct investment. And with over 60% as well, providing better insight on emerging markets compared to other media publications. The last category I wanted to focus on was energy and what we do around there. As you'll see later on as well, sustainability and sustainability content is an important part of what we do at Reuters as well. We have our own energy channel that talks about the price of oil, what are the latest innovations in green energy. And we also provide this content in a multiple of different formats, from lists to graphics and so forth. In terms of Reuters events, a number of really good events that are happening throughout the course of 2021, energy transition, the future of renewables, offshore and floating wind, the future of oil and gas, hydrogen, solar PV operations and strategies. And focusing on sustainability, focusing on renewable energy is important to Reuters as well. And our audience recognizes the value of this important topic. So we have a very strong commitment to reporting around sustainability, and we're doing this in 3 different areas. So first of all, we're working with CC Now as one of the 400 news organizations that is committed to providing more coverage around climate change and sustainability. And so this coverage is being driven by Katie Daigle out of Washington, DC for us. We're also working with Signal Climate Analytics, which is our exclusive partner. And their insight and resourcing provides us with more information and data around this. Again, this provides much more insight and depth to our content and articles. And we've also been running a number of different events globally through Reuters events, the ones that I mentioned in the previous slide. On Reuters.com, we have our dedicated sustainable business section on site as well. And this is covered across 4 different pillars in Reuters.com: climate change, responsible investing, ethics and society, and policy and regulation. And so what does this mean for yourselves? What does this mean for your clients? We have extremely strong content creation capabilities. We are an influential and trusted brand globally. Our editorial provides us with an outstanding reputation globally. And on the content side with Reuters Plus, as well as under Reuters Professional, we leverage that expertise to provide great commercial content for our clients. And we can help you across all different aspects of that, everything from ideation to building a strategy to building what your key themes might be. We can help write those. We can help interview key clients to create articles or other forms of content. And we can do that across the written word, through photography, and through video as well. Using our platforms on Reuters.com as well as through social to distribute that great content for you as well. And there's a few examples here. We have a lot of really great examples, which as a follow-up, if any of you have any specifics around categories that you're interested in, please let myself, Joseph, or Prayer know. We're happy to share those with you. But there's a few here across a number of different formats that we have done. Everything from video production, social amplification, a podcast there on the left side from Barclays. The bottom right there is a webinar that I produced for Standard Chartered Bank here in Singapore. And there's a fintech article on the top right there. So there's a lot of different stuff that we can do. We have a lot of great examples. So again, we're happy to share in more detail as a follow-up. That was a very quick summary because unfortunately we just had 15 minutes to go through what we did have. But again, we really appreciate your time. And I think we do have some time for Q&A, which is great. So again, thanks everyone. Are there any questions?
Thanks very much for that, Peter. That was very enjoyable. Just wanting to get a sense of how Reuters are looking to approach cookieless market as the cookie begins to crumble. What's Reuters' approach in terms of your data that may help us in that respect, please?
Yeah, that's a great question. Peter, if you don't mind, I could take this and allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Joseph Najam. I'm the head of programmatic at Thomson Reuters at Reuters.com. And that's a great question because it's very timely. Last week, Google made a few announcements regarding their solution to what they'll be doing for a cookieless future. And their solution right now is there's no alternative. So if you probably heard about Unified ID 2.0, which is kind of being led by Trade Desk, an open source solution, they're not willing to play. And what does that mean for a lot of advertisers and publishers? A couple of things, right? It's important to kind of take a step back and look at your preparedness as a buyer or a supplier in this industry. And when it comes to being prepared, a recent IAB report that was released not too long ago said 86% of, I guess, advertising professionals said they were prepared within their organization. But when it came down to the nitty gritty of what preparedness meant, whether it be measurement, retargeting, utilizing their first party data, there were less than 50% who thought they were prepared. Reuters, in terms of preparedness, are doing a lot to ensure that we're in a place come 2022 when the changes take place. We'll be offering our advertisers who work with us solutions to that cookieless world. And what does that mean? So one, that Peter had mentioned, we're evolving into a site that will be capturing more deterministic data, our first party data that you as advertisers can leverage. And it's going to be very unique first party data. It's going to be that premium C-suite executive audience that will be very difficult to find elsewhere. The second thing is we're not only capturing that first party data, but it's going to be something that you can utilize, hopefully as secondary data or second party data, but use it as insights, data that will allow you to, run a campaign on Reuters, capture information that can then help inform where you should be, spending your dollars in other places as well. I would say the third and probably final thing that is important to recognize outside of a cookieless world, going back into a realm where you're more focused on contextual and content, Reuters is the perfect place with being one of the most trusted and unbiased news organizations in the world. The end of the cookie is an opportunistic moment for advertisers to go back into targeting contextual environments like ours, where they'll get the richness of a very premium, organic, professional audience next to very brand suitable content that is focused around informing and giving their audience the facts to help empower and make decisions for their day. So, one, our first party data is going to be enriched. 2, it's an opportunity for you as advertisers to access. And 3, we'll always have that contextual element that will be and can be, and even today, utilized to increase and drive performance.
Thanks very much for that. Yeah, appreciate that. Making great steps in terms of that deterministic data on a premium site for those C-suite executives in particular. So look forward to following that progress. Thanks very much, Joseph.
Yeah, of course, no problem.